Hello and welcome to the Advent 7 podcast. I'm your host Trey, and today I am joined by the boys. We've got Andrew.
Hey, what up, people?
Professor Shinobi.
I'm here.
And Frank.
What up?
And today
We are here now. We are here.
we are the here. We are all the here now.
Yep. We are here and everything is okay. Everything is great because we're here now. Is that how
We
the
are
saying
totally
goes?
not duplicates sent over to record this podcast. Lab.exe.
Is that how the My Hero phrase goes? I'm sorry. I'm not cultured enough to know My Hero very well.
You uncultured weeb. Moving on. So today we're talking about the freshest, the most tastiest, the hottest, the newest anime that come out this summer of 2022. Before we get started, let's get some plugs out of the way. First up, if you head over to advent7.com, you guys can check out my full season review of Miss Marvel. I love the show, but it's got its issues. But you can check that out in the article at advent7.com. If you come back here to our YouTube channel, you can check out two of our fun gaming streams. Just recently, our boy Ed took a dive into the deeps with Freediver Triton Down, a VR experience that taught us a lot about how we don't know how to use cameras.
Or the color red.
Oh my god, okay, it's not my fault. The battery, okay, the camera is plugged into some phantom power to charge it while it's streaming, but what I didn't realize is that the output of power from the charger to the camera itself was too slow. So the camera was dead before we started streaming. I should have charged it ahead of time, and then it would have been okay. So mistakes were made, but it's still a good stream. Please go watch it.
No, it's still a good stream. It's
watchable.
I mean, like, to be quiet.
Oh god.
Like every other stream we've had, it's usually scuffed. It's fine.
Don't say that. Don't say that. We put a lot of hard work and effort into these streams.
And somehow we always mess it up.
I mean, look at the biggest streamers. Like, they screw up on a daily basis, and viewers don't seem to care. It's not about
funny.
Oh god, just go, just move along. I can't fight the self-deprecation of three people all at once, okay? My job is not to be the optimist. My job is to just get things done. No, we're moving on. What was the other thing?
You're bad and you should feel bad.
Anyways,
oh
you can
my
also
god,
check out.
I'm going to leave this podcast.
You can also check out our most recent Jackbox Sundays, where we play Champed Up, a game about making championship level memes.
Yes. I am very biased, and I'm going to say it is a very, very good choice from the previous winner of that episode.
Oh, I wonder who could have done that. Anyways, with that all out of the way, we'd like to thank everyone for tuning in today. If you're new here, we love it if you enjoy the show. Please leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and share this all over social media. We're still on our way up to 200 subs by the end of the year. We're creeping ever closer. Help us out, people. With that all out of the way, let's talk about the new summer anime. There'll be light spoilers for the first, I guess, 3 or so episodes of any of the shows we talk about, but otherwise it'll mostly be, I think this show is gonna be good. Unless one of us read the manga, Frank.
I'm not even mad anymore. This is what I am. This is gonna be it. That's fine.
Why'd you even come to this podcast, Frank? You just read manga.
Hate draws views.
Because out of like how many shows there is, I think I've read pretty much 5 of them.
Okay.
It's
not that
like
bad.
dentists. You have to have the one that's like, no, don't use Crest toothpaste. Go get gravel. Shove it in your mouth.
Wait, 1, 2.
I haven't heard that one.
Nobody listens to the fifth dentist.
I don't think the dentist tells you. No dentist has ever told me that.
Well,
Because you aren't talking to the
you
fifth
get
dentist.
80%.
You haven't met the fifth dentist.
What is the fifth dentist? What?
It's
What
the
is that
meme of every time you see like toothpaste or gum or any other health advice, it's like 4 out of 5 dentists recommend this. Who's the fifth dentist? who says no to these healthy things.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
it's that.
But we are on a deep tangent that has nothing to do with anime.
Yeah, this
So let's
is
talk
not
about
this
some
is not
anime.
a dental podcast. Trey, what, start off. What are you watching, Trey? What are you watching?
I'm watching everything, Andrew, but let's start with something new that I think is kind of dope. Lycoris Recoil. New anime.
Okay. Plot synopsis. What is Lycoris Recoil? Because I've heard of this show.
Wow. Okay, I'm sorry. I was just reading the description and I was not expecting these words, but keep going.
So, Lycoris Recoil, in my own words of explaining this show, it takes place in Japan, like most anime should. We have basically a secret attack force of orphan girls taken in by the Japanese government, trained to assassinate any crime that is about to happen. Our focus is on one girl who was kind of a loose cannon on her previous mission, so she was demoted to working with one of the other loose cannons of their group. These two girls are now doing the work of the DA, as they're called, but they are doing it in a different way. It's a bunch of badass anime girls going around shooting people. One of them uses non-lethal bullets, and she's got such deadly accuracy and such bullcrap amount of dodging ability. She literally can dodge bullets almost point blank.
Can she High School of the Dead dodge bullets?
No, not High School of the Dead.
If I'm looking at the images of them, I don't think they could.
I don't think she could.
Like, you picture the John Wick movies. Picture John Wick lifting up his coat jacket to catch bullets. That type of gun kata.
Yep, she is basically John Wick if he was an anime girl, as Giga has greatly pointed out.
What? Okay, that's enough to sell me. That's actually a great description.
I mean, it's great. It's fun. I enjoyed it. I was something I'm like, this is fantastic. This is everything I wanted. Cute anime girls and gunfights.
This would be Anya Forger's new favorite show.
I was gonna say that's actually a great way to put it.
Yeah.
I googled this show. And I see all these girls now. I recognize the two lead girls. I've been seeing them all over Twitter and Instagram for the last week, so now it makes sense.
Especially
now I know what show they're actually from. Cute anime girls fighting crime or whatever. Sign me up. That's all I mean. Frankly, I'm the type of person who will watch an anime purely just for cute characters.
Yes.
That's normally what sells me, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm not ashamed of that. That's why I started watching ReZero. Because of Amelia's design, and I regret that.
So you say cute girls, but do you mean cute attractive, or cute you are actually adorable helpful fox Senko-san?
The former. No.
Okay.
No. No.
Shut
up. Senko-san is precious. Don't get me wrong, but that show always hurt me.
And she is cute.
God dang it. Dude.
I didn't say she's attractive. I said she's cute. There is a difference.
I don't want to get into this. Senko-san is a whole bag of worms, man.
Apparently, I just brought up the wrong topic. Okay,
I mean, a fun show about a Japanese businessman being, spoiled by a semi-immortal fox demon is bringing up some issues with Andrew. Okay.
So Lycoris Recoil says the number of terrorist attacks in Japan has never been lower, and I'm like, that's a hell of a start.
Yeah, I mean, if you follow the same logic of preventing crime as what's that movie called?
Minority Report.
The pre-crime division.
Yeah, that's basically how it works. So there is rumblings about a terrorist attack. It may or may not happen, but these guys are possibly doing something. Go after them.
I'm gonna go hardcore old school weeb. I think it's a little bit closer to Gundam Wink's Preventers. At the very end of the OVA, they mentioned that they're going to join a group of an anti-war regiment that basically is like Black Ops, that when they find out that there's going to be insurgency fighting, they just cut it out in the middle right away. And that sounds a lot like this show, where it's not like they're using we're getting a reading. There's gonna be someone who's gonna try to lift a gun. We need to stop them. It's more like, hey, we got some intel and we should probably act on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like they aren't like preemptively stopping crime. They are
Right.
stopping crime very quickly after it is about to happen.
Okay,
Right.
so
But
that
there are
makes...
small divisions so they can do it by themselves and apparently use non-lethal armor-piercing bullets?
That's
Yes.
not how that works.
The main girl has bullets that still go through metal doors.
That's what we call
What
lethal.
you do is you put the armor piercing in front, then it goes away as it dissipates through the armor, and then you have the rubber punchy don't kill me bullet.
I mean,
Yes.
that makes sense. It hits an object and it immediately dissipates its energy. I don't know by some weird physics and that should not exist, but it does.
It's
Well,
very interesting
okay.
watching her shoot people, like, because sometimes her bullets hit people directly, and it puffs out red smoke like they were shot and murdered, but they just are going down.
This reminds me of Fire Force with that one character who literally controls how he fires his bullets.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like that at least somewhat made more sense where it's like, oh, I only partially bullet.
And the guy is able to freeze because he's able to control fire. What do you think of that?
Okay. I said for one character, I didn't say, well, the whole show makes sense. Yes, the whole show of I will light the universe on fire, thus making me independent of the universe. Uh-oh, my brother turned into tachyons, so I can't find them in the universe. What the fuck? Magnetically charged flames? Are you fucking kidding me? How is a firefighter in a bikini the least weird part of the show?
How
I
we
mean,
digressed
we are
like
moving
4 or
on.
5 times. We've digressed 4 or 5 times from talking about Lycoris Recoil to making us angry about other shows. So this is telling me I should not watch Lycoris Recoil because I'm not going to be able to get through a single episode without losing my shit.
No, you should watch it. Just don't think. Just don't think.
Like,
That's actually,
Just stay
Best
live.
way to watch and live. Just don't think.
That
Okay,
actually sells
if we're
me.
talking about
Actually
not thinking, what do you guys are thinking about Rent a Girlfriend season 2?
I'm not watching it.
that
I'm not
carpet.
fucking watching it.
No.
No, Rent a Girlfriend sucks. There it is. There it is. We're done here. End the podcast. We're over. No. Have a good night, people. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the podcast. My name's Andrew, and I don't give a shit about Rent a Girlfriend.
No.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Even
Yeah.
before the controversy, I was just like, it's okay. It's an interesting, somewhat of a premise. It's fun to watch her, but man, the male lead is just like unlikable.
Exactly.
That was my biggest problem about why I left that show. It just wasn't fun to have him, and I'm just like, man, you better man up, real. Not like
That's
man
why I
up, but
hate
like.
the show. I hate him. I hate
how
him
do I
with a
phrase this?
fiery passion.
So I think we should clarify up front.
That demeanor of yours really quick is what I'm trying to tell. Not
I think
man
we should
up.
clarify
That's
up front. Is any of us watching Rent a Girlfriend season 2?
absolutely
No.
not.
I think I saw like a bit of the first season. I was like, this reminds me of School Days. I absolutely hated that main character. I'm not watching this.
There you go, people. Your greatest anime is garbage, and we all hate it. Also, check out Andrew's Rent a Girlfriend is Killing Me video.
Yeah, if you want to know what I think about Rent a
Someone needs to
Girlfriend.
take the meme from Rent a Girlfriend. We all know the one, and just instead of her saying anything, it just says "nice boat." Give it to
Yeah.
Frank.
Like honestly, like I saw a couple of them. Like the main character reminds me of why I hated School Days. Like I couldn't care less about the only reason why I kind of like School Days was for the ending because I'm a sick twisted fuck. But
Well, you heard it here, folks.
Yeah, right.
It's fine.
It's on record now, but we all knew that. It's okay because I think that's why everybody watches School Days. I don't
Yeah.
think anybody actually watches the whole show. They just skip to the last episode because that's the meme they've heard about their entire
Ugh.
lives.
It's sitting
We
through
really
it's sitting through a bunch of crap,
fast-forwarded
going, I hate this character. I hate this character so much, and then the ending happens. You're like, release, sweet release. It's basically edging the entire.
That's
Yeah, it's at some point you go, I'm basically edging. I don't know why it's edging, but I'm basically edging this entire episode.
So who's watching Overlord?
Yeah, let's swing to something good. Overlord, I am watching that.
Oh
It's
my
season-
god, Overlord 4 is actually really interesting so far.
Yep, I love Dark Path Civilization Builder. It's like season 3 had some bad CG, but I'm still looking forward to this season.
It's like, I will implement equality. But they're subhumans. Equality! There, that'll get my friends to find me.
I like how you say Dark Pact, but like, it's humans. Like, it's not like humans are the only things out there. Skeletons, demons and other monsters deserve life too.
It's fair.
Okay.
It's fair. No, you're right. It's just he's kind of a murderer. He's gone through a lot of murder before he got to this point.
I mean, to make a kingdom, things like that tend to happen in the dark. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Well, okay,
I'm not gonna mention okay,
well, then don't.
Demiurge's happy farm. You don't want to mention that part. It's humans.
So, the funny thing, do you not see the giant snake tattoo going up her arm and on the right side of her chest? And that raised no questions for you.
And the nobles and their eccentric birthmarks. It's fine. It's fine.
Fine.
That was not a birthmark. That is a birthmark that says I am the main villain or the main character.
I mean, it in this show it makes sense why that will be tossed away. There's other problems in the future, like the entire kingdom of dead people. It's there's other things to be worried about. At least she's human. That's what they care about.
Overlord is definitely one of those shows that one of the people outside of the guild will show up and I'm like, oh, you have hopes and dreams. And then there's the entirety of the lizard arc.
Ah, those poor lizard men.
The lizard men get kind of a raw deal. But I will say this, if you want impressive showmanship, Einzelgone is like S tier.
Yep.
Just to flex on them.
I'm going to show up and go, hello, I am now your god. Here are my rules.
Don't bore me. And that is it.
Don't bore me. Goodbye. Have a nice day. Don't piss me off.
But honestly, everyone knows why you're really watching Overlord Season 4 for Albedo. That's the only reason anyone should watch Overlord at all. Is to see Albedo.
Yes. And no.
I'm very interested in the politics of him building a kingdom and him basically luck rolling into creating world domination. That's what I'm more worried about. But
but that's not the main reason why you're watching.
No,
I'm not as down bad as you, Andrew.
No,
I'm not watching.
Waiting for a season 1 ending fight happen again.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I do want that.
100% the reason why I'm watching this show. Because I want to see an ending fight like that again where it goes, all right, here are 25 buffs that I am going to list in order.
Yep.
And that is just the beginning.
I love that fight. And the memes from it where you're just like, when Elden Ring came out, it's like, yep.
I didn't see those, but that would be perfect.
Oh, God. No, Overlord is fun.
Magic. Overlord, my quickened haste. It's just, you can list several million things, and I probably would watch a 30-minute compilation of just made-up abilities for it.
Yeah.
Actually, Andrew, write that down. We got an idea for a video.
Okay, writing it down.
Okay, let's switch over to a different monster show, Call of the Night. It's like...
Okay, so Call of the Night is from the same author of Dagashi Kashi, for anybody who remembers that show. And for those who may not have seen it, Dagashi Kashi is an anime just about this group of high school kids, and they try different snacks. It's all about snacks. But the main reason why anybody watches Dagashi Kashi is for the character designs, because the lead chick in that show is just very strikingly unique in terms of design. Also pretty hot, not gonna lie. So
she looks like the main character from Call of the Night.
Yeah,
that is the thing. That is the thing.
That's just her without braids.
So the reason
most
why
manga make the same manga make the same character.
Look at because I've seen Yu-Gi-Oh.
Look at Fairy Tail, then look at Eden Zero. Basically, he's just black-haired Natsu at that point, without the scarf.
Yeah. It's literally the same character designs, just reused. Because the author he knows what he likes, and he knows what kind of design that he likes. So it's practically the same characters, just transplanted into a new show, a new setting with slight tweaks to their overall design. But that's how you know that you're watching a show from the creator Dagashikashi, because it has literally the same type of character design.
Okay,
but anyways, what is the show about, Andrew?
The show is about this kid who has insomnia, and he doesn't want to go to high school. I can't remember if he's in high school or middle school. Is he in middle school? Okay.
He dropped out of middle school.
He doesn't want to go to school anymore because he just can't be bothered to. There was a certain point where he just got tired of going. Some stuff did happen at school that turned him away from it. He just doesn't really know how to interact with people. And all the stress that resulted from having to go to school and deal with all these issues led to him just staying home. He's not necessarily a shut-in. He just can't sleep at night anymore, so he goes out in the evenings and walks around town, and then during the day he'll go back home and sleep. So one night, in fact, I think it's the first night that he actually does go out because he can't sleep. He walks around, and the city he lives in is just empty. It's quiet. All the lights are on, and he's just taking in this exciting new feeling of being out at night. For a middle school kid, that is pretty exciting, because it is a whole different world at night, and you kind of feel like you're breaking the rules, but nobody's around to yell at you. No one's around to like tell you what to do. It's up to this main character. He just kind of like does whatever he wants. He just walks around, and he feels happy for the first time in a long time, just being out late at night. Until he comes across a vending machine. And the vending machine is brighter and warmer than normal. Like, it is just emanating this very bright yellow light. And he goes near it, mesmerized of it. And as he goes to buy a beer, because he's never had alcohol before, and it's late at night, and in Japan, you can buy alcohol from vending machines, and no one's going to ID check you. You can just buy it. As he goes to buy it, a mysterious girl stops him and asks, "Are you really going to buy that beer?" He loses it because she just popped out of nowhere, and he tries to run off, but she stops him, and he finds out that she's actually, spoiler alert, a vampire. She's a vampire. She's a vampire. I mean, in case you didn't figure it out by the name of the anime, yes, it's about vampires. And so she wants to drink his blood, but she wants to do it with his permission. Okay, that might be a bad way to phrase it. He doesn't know.
No, that's exactly how she wants to do it. So she's
vampires can't come in without permission.
She's a consensual vampire.
Well, like, not exactly. I actually misspoke. Like, he doesn't find out she's a vampire at first. Like, she just kind of like tows him along and tells him to come back to her place, and he's really like weirded out but doesn't know what to do, so he just follows her. She takes him back to her room, and it's like a 1-bedroom studio apartment with
like, damn, you really live like this.
Nothing but like, yeah, right? Like, damn, girl, you really live like this. It's an empty studio apartment with just one single futon in the middle, and I think there's like a stereo. So it's pretty shady what's going on. He's not quite sure what to expect, but she lures him in and convinces him to like try going to sleep. And once he has seemingly fallen asleep, then she tries to drink his blood. However,
this doesn't sound consensual.
The main character, like, she underestimates how bad the main character's insomnia actually is. So when she goes for it and drinks his blood, like, he opens his eyes. He's like, wait, what was that? Why is my neck bleeding? What's going on? And then it all comes out in the open. He finds out she's a vampire, and he decides, well, that sounds awesome. I also want to be a vampire. Screw the real world. So his goal in this show is actually become a vampire as well, so that he can just live the life he wants instead of going back to the boring everyday BS that he has to deal with constantly and all the annoying people that he doesn't want to be around. He wants to become a vampire instead. The caveat, though, is that in this world, in Call of the Night, you don't become a vampire by getting bitten. That's actually an urban legend. In this show, in order to become a vampire, according to Nazuna, the vampire herself, in order to become one, you have to fall in love with a vampire. He has to fall in love with her. And supposedly, once that happens, then the vampirism will awake inside of him and he'll no longer be human. Now,
but the problem is, the MC is so freaking dense.
It's not just that. I think that this kind of comes up in his backstory in like the first or second episode. He doesn't necessarily have like feelings for other people easily, like in general, whether it's romantic.
He's potentially aromantic or asexual.
Yeah, kind of, because like he still gets turned on by the vampire, but like actually falling in love with her is something else.
So aromantic.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
I think so. Yeah, because in general, like other people, he just doesn't really get on any emotional level, and so he's a hard time relating to people. He's a hard time sympathizing to or talking with other people, and that's still present in this relationship. But he's trying because he just wants to become a vampire. So if he's gotta fall in love with her, he'll do whatever it takes. But I gotta be honest, Call of the Night is not about that. It's not necessarily about the main character's intentions. It's not. I mean, you go there for the hot chick and for like the romantic relationship, but the biggest sell of Call of the Night, in my opinion, is the nightlife aesthetic of that show.
Yeah, they went like the budget went very hard on designing the night sky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The backgrounds, the lighting, it's all very intentional. The show does a tremendous job of creating a feeling for you, an aesthetic, an atmosphere that you can lose yourself in. And watching the show, you do kind of feel like you're there with the main character. And you do kind of feel that magic of being up late at night when everybody else is asleep and the whole world around you is yours. Essentially,
it is interesting because like I know Giga had a video about this show in particular, and he kind of makes the argument that it's an isekai in the smallest degree possible, where you don't get transported to another world so much as you just invert AM and PM. But it changes everything around you. Like, places are not going to be open. Places would never be open. They're closed down. You don't see your friends or relatives anymore because you're just literally not awake. It's kind of interesting because I remember when I was kind of prepping myself to go to Japan, I actually kind of inverted my schedule like that. And I found that it was like 4 a.m. was like, I am super creative now. This is never going to work in my real life. But yeah, it was interesting because it does have the same vibe of I'm alone, but I'm not lonely.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's a sort of one of the main things that I like about the show, and I like I said, I have read this manga before as well. I think it was like last year I found it. Even before Gigak's video, I started reading. I'm like, oh, I know this character design, and I remember the show Darakashi and everything. And I started reading. I'm like, oh, holy crap, this is really hitting me because I obviously deal with a lot of insomnia. If people haven't heard about this from me, insomnia hits me like a truck. I can stay up for days sometimes and just do nothing or sit down and stare at the wall and do nothing. So I have literally just left my apartment at like 2:00 in the morning and walked.
Mm-hmm. You've also worked like late shifts at some of your previous jobs. So you've lived the nightlife.
Oh yeah, no. Well, there's another. It's coming in the anime. There's a character that we typically meet we'll meet in the anime. That's basically a Japanese businesswoman who leaves work at like 4:00 in the morning, and she feels this sense of relief of being just free outside at night when no one's around, nothing's happening. Like night air is a little slightly chilly, and she's walking home going, "This is what I do. This is what I like about walking home at night. Nothing, absolutely freeing and everything else." And so like I would, walk around my block or like downtown at like 4:00 in the morning going, oh, this is very interesting. Like all these lights are super bright out. And as I was walking around going, this is super bright. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Or like downtown during Christmas, like during the holidays,
God,
all the Christmas lights are on. I'm walking around going, "Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. Cool." And so they're going
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I didn't." So like it's like nightlife between AM and PM. Like it is that sort of like isekai-ish world where you somehow tumble into an alternate dimension where it's so different. So I mean that's one of the reasons why I watch it and I enjoy this manga and anime.
Well, that's interesting that we know that it actually feels like that and we don't have the perspective of any level of insomnia. But it's also, I have to wonder if the mangaka actually has that now, just because that would definitely help the influence of the writing.
Well, who knows? That's
I mean,
an interesting thought.
Yeah, I mean, everyone. I assume everyone has insomnia at some point. Something is weighing on them. Something is, getting them down, and they can't just sleep.
Well, I meant like I know there are like some nights where like it was difficult because of like kids, but I meant like even without that, I don't know if I've really had an experience that's like I can't sleep and I want to for a while. I was talking more like clinical.
Yeah. It's an interesting thought. Let's move on to another new show. I will take this one. It is a new isekai called Parallel World Pharmacy.
Which I have read.
Oh, you really? Okay.
Of course he has.
I mean, yeah, I read. I actually read. I like isekai. Sometimes they're shit. I can say that for a fact. All of them are shit. But like, I read this one. I was like, oh, this is very interesting. It's sad to see him overwork himself again. That's how he died.
It's like, yes, seeing overworked doctor dies in his sleep and is reincarnated into the body of a boy who is the son of a high-ranking pharmacist in what is basically medieval times.
Okay. I have to interrupt you slightly because I was looking at the description and it's like, after working himself to death at the age of 31, me at 33. Oh, fuck.
It's like he was basically trying to cure like super cancer or something. So
he was trying to cure the disease that his little sister had.
Yeah, I can't. I don't think they've said what the disease was, but I'm calling it super cancer just to
plot cancer. Yeah.
It's like she died of plot cancer, so he devoted his life to knowing as much about pharmacology as possible to possibly make a cure. Yeah. But yeah, he dies from overworking himself, and when he wakes up, he is a noble essentially. He's a young noble. In this world, obviously, people have magic for different elements. His is water, but when he was told, it's like, yeah, you just have to picture water and then it'll do magic. He's like, okay, picture water. Starts building H2O molecules in his head, and then all of a sudden, because of his reincarnation bullcrap of him being gifted by the god, essentially, he now basically just can create a freaking flood with his water. Before it wasn't even that strong. Before the old person's abilities weren't as ridiculous as what he has now. He also got another new power, which is both the abilities to create and destroy anything as long as he knows the molecular structure of it.
So basically, Full Metal Alchemist wishes they were Parallel World Pharmacy.
Yes. It's like he basically has a lot of Full Metal Alchemist going on, but it's like his whole thing is that he's now using his working knowledge of medicine, of the chemical structure of medicine, which is like something probably most doctors today could not do offhand, to basically build his way up to getting this world to modern medicine. Like, I'll say this, in the third episode, which I just recently watched, he already knew he didn't know the full compound of it, but he was like, okay, the queen is dying from tuberculosis, and so is my new dad. I have to now remember/figure out the molecular structure for the vaccine that cures tuberculosis.
That's actually interesting. I was actually just curious about this, so I looked at the structure metafin is C8H9NO2, and it's like, oh, that would actually be easy to memorize. Shoot!
Well, and it's not.
I
mean, it's not just that. It's like figuring out like how the molecular bonds work as well. It's figuring that work
and all that. I'm looking at the structure now. That would actually not be all that difficult to make, but it is an interesting premise for a show. Yeah. Just to be like, I have outside information that would be incredibly relevant, and then just take the most bullcrap ability I could think of when I'm like, you only get one superpower. What do you want it to be? Molecular rearrangement. What? Molecular rearrangement.
Yeah, it's that sort of thing.
So you
People are
want
like,
to rearrange molecules?
Yes!
no,
But yes, it's a fun idea. I like this, and I definitely do need to watch this. I don't know if they actually use leeches in that show, but that was like the analogy everyone used, where it's like they have no idea how medicine works.
Yeah, I think there was
hold up.
mention of leeches.
no. Parallel in pharmacy in the parallel world is it's a very fun show because it's not. I shouldn't say high stakes. It gets pretty high stakes later on, but it's very much like slow building. It's not too overly dramatic in a sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember like Dr. Stone having a whole thing like, oh, we're going to build medicine in Stone Age. And I actually really like that arc. So just taking the premise of this and being like, oh, well, seems like it would work.
Yeah, I'm gonna teach these hillbillies what bacteria are. Let's show them that.
Yeah, that's
It's-
what just happened in the most recent episode. It's like,
Wait, what?
yes, it's like Queen, you just gave me a sample from your diseased lungs. Now it's like last episode I made a microscope. Look at this slide, and it's like, what the heck is that?
Are
And it's
those
like-
bugs? And they're like, no, they're bacteria. That's what causes the disease. What? It's
Oh,
basically
no.
it's basically taking. I mean, it's basically this taking medical knowledge from now to maybe the time going like, yeah, you know why you got syphilis because you went to the New Americas and all that stuff, and it's basically dumbing them going like, and here's how you make acetaminophen, and this is what causes this disease, and I may be a new medicine god. Who knows? I don't have a shadow.
It's like, yes, he's for some reason when he came back to life, the kid's body doesn't have a shadow anymore. So luckily, only one person has noticed that.
Yeah, I'm two now, but technically his new dad does.
Yeah. Well, his new dad knows, but I don't think he never pointed out this like, oh wait, you don't have a shadow, kid. Who are you? He just was like, who are you? Because he was confused why he was going.
My son's not that smart.
Exactly. It's like his son's going rogue. It's like, son, I've taught you everything you know, and you definitely don't know how to make new medicine. Where are you getting off on this? But it's yeah, he's so overpowered. He can do magic without a wand like everyone else in the world. He can do it without incantations, and he can make medicine out of nothing. So it's just everybody who sees him do some new stuff, it's like could easily go, witch? He's a witch? But that's not how this would work because everyone can do magic.
No, technically there's further on in the story, there's like a whole religion that's like, he may be a heretic. Who knows?
Ah.
I'm saying that like right now it's super slow. It gets really fun later on.
Okay.
So
sounds fun.
No, it's a really good story.
It's a solid show so far, so I'm liking it. Okay, moving on to some trash.
Okay, I'm gonna say this just because I haven't watched the show. I'm just literally looking at the list. The show called Teppan has, and I'm going to count them 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh my god, I lost count. Are you kidding me? Hold up.
Yes, Teppan Laughing Till You Cry is a comedy anime that has too many exclamation points in its title, and it's not even at the end of the sentence. But so to talk about that show real quick, I saw the first episode of it, but I didn't really fall in love with it. It's a show about a comedy trio of girls who are entered in this big comedy contest, and it's like their group plus all the other competition groups are living in this big dorm, basically and they're practicing their bits on each other. So the first episode, it's all basically a joke monologue.
Practicing their bits on each other. Do we want to rephrase this?
They're jokes. They're practicing.
Thank you.
They're practicing their jokes on each other. So the first episode is all about telling a story of how they broke the statue of the dorm owner, and it has a bunch of random tangents like you would on any good story / comedy story. It's not
a specific type
not a bad show.
show for that. I need to look that up later. But yeah, I'm sorry. I just saw so many exclamation points. Keijo was like, "You need to slow down."
Yeah, but the trash show I wanted to bring up is my stepmother's daughter is my ex.
I knew you were gonna bring it up sooner or later.
I will give this show a little bit of credit.
Don't.
It is actually funny in the regard of, I can't call you my older brother. Well, I don't want to call you my older sister. Nah.
It does bring up that problem when you become step siblings with somebody when you're both like in high school. It's like, okay, like who's the younger of us? Like you establish that up front, right? I presume at least.
Yes.
And because the two lead characters are just both equally stubborn and extremely stubborn.
Also born on the exact same day, 30 minutes apart.
Yeah,
that's why this is a big issue.
It's pretty dumb. They're born within the same hour of each other. It's too many coincidences. But yeah, the show's premise is the two of them competing with one another to try and trick the other person into admitting that they are the younger sibling, so that either of them can assert their dominance, I suppose.
No, superiority.
Superiority.
If you have had
more
siblings,
towards
you
dominance.
know this sensation of like,
yeah.
oh no, I'm the better one.
But it could be dominance as well, because based on that title alone, you know that we're not blood related, so this is gonna get interesting. And as Jeff threw from Mother's Basement pointed out, they're playing a game of incest chicken.
Okay, yeah, that's actually the best way to describe this show. Yeah, incest chicken is pretty accurate. Because
meets incest chicken.
The reason why is because we just described the premise of the show, but I feel like halfway through the first episode or even the second episode, the two main characters forget what they were competing over in the first place, and it just becomes the two of them trying their hardest to ignore the fact that they are pretty much dating again by this point. And it gets bad. It gets bad in that sense. Like,
I mean, the second episode's all about the sister getting sick, and she regresses back to both her teenage years. And
while she's sick, while she is quote unquote sick, she convinces her brother to like go out and buy her ice cream, get her books that she wants. He has to hold her hand while she sleeps because that's the only way she's gonna be able to properly sleep. Even if she was sick, this still crosses that boundary to the point where you ask yourself, do they even remember that they're supposed to hate each other?
Like, they don't hate each. Well, they kind of hate each other.
They are trying their hardest to hate each other, but I feel like they just don't remember half the time, and they still end up being around each other like a couple.
Well, it's like they're trying to make it look good for their parents, so their parents don't catch on that they were dating, because apparently they never met. It's like neither one of them met the other's parent before they got married. So this is just like, okay, they can never know that we were dating. Ever.
But they pseudo flirt with each other when their parents aren't even around.
Well, that's because then they're just trying to mess with each other. It's like, yeah, that's once again Jeff 2 pointed out. This is kind of like Kaguya-sama if they were living in the same house, I guess.
It's like Kaguya-sama for like 15 minutes, and then because the thing is, the whole premise of Kaguya-sama is for the two main characters to like persuade the other to confess first. And there is a similar type of competition happening here, only I think in Kaguya-sama's case, they're far more consistent with the competitive factor.
Yes. They are.
This show is really just more like, it's like Domestic Girlfriend. It's like Domestic Girlfriend, only there's one girl instead of two. There's only one sister.
Domestic Girlfriend with a little less spice. Nice. So it's a garbage can fire, not a dumpster.
Yeah, it's a garbage can fire, not a dumpster fire.
Girlfriend.
I'm gonna say this is like palpable trash.
Yeah,
like
palpable trash. Put that on the box, everybody.
That's all I got. That's all I got, man.
It's like it won't kill your soul to watch the show, but you'll die just a little.
You'll still invert.
Oh my god!
You will still invert into your couch watching this show because of the cringe at certain moments. There's points where it just gets hard to watch because they are both being incredibly embarrassing.
I like that. You will die from cringe, but your soul will be saved still. Nice.
Because it's still like a heartwarming story in certain ways, and I'm rooting for the main characters to get back together. I think they actually make a really good couple. I think they make a really good couple. Look at episode 4. Look at episode 4. They go to the aquarium together. It's literally a date. They literally go on a date together at the aquarium.
With my siblings before, and we didn't play incest chicken. Just gonna put it out
Because
there.
you were related to your siblings. They're step siblings. It's okay. They're not related. They're not related by
Life
blood.
with Derek.
They're not related by blood, so it's okay, right? Oh shit!
What?
Moving on.
Yes!
Let's check out a show that's on Netflix right now. Uncle from Another World.
You can't. It's been hiatus. It's been on hiatus now.
Well, yeah. So one of the animators got caught COVID, so it's just a little bad. But to talk about at least the first episode, because I can't remember if the second one came out or not.
What happened to Sega?
It's like, what happened to Sega? So, Uncle from Another World. It's the rare opportunity to see what happens when if someone actually manages to get back from their isekai.
Oh, really?
Yes, and it's depressing because technically, most of these guys, you get transported to another world, or you die, so you don't care about your body. But this is like, no, he's been in a coma for like 17 years. He's been sitting in the hospital this entire time. Hey, you want to go pick up your uncle? Yeah, he's waking up now. He's like, oh God, I'm back. Oh, why am I achy? It's really sad.
This sounds a little bit like Jumanji with Robin Williams.
Yes, kind of, yeah. Yeah, kind of, yeah.
So yeah, Uncle from Another World, guy wakes up from his isekai coma. Sadly, he went into his coma before most of the tropes of common anime were established.
I love this bit.
So while he was in the other world, he went through his isekai adventure, but everyone hated him because he was kind of ugly compared to the very handsome and beautiful looking people of their world. So they all treated him like an orc.
He didn't understand tsundere, so he just assumed that she's kind of rude the whole time and doesn't get the idea that she actually loves him.
Yep. So you get to go through that kind of level of cringe, but when he wakes up, he still has his magic. So he can still do some incredible stuff that doesn't make sense in our world.
And what does he do with it? He becomes a YouTuber. He becomes a viral video YouTuber, and it's amazing.
Like he's a viral.
Where did this come from? That's out of left field. He becomes a YouTuber.
That was his nephew's idea to make some
You
money.
have no job experience for the last 17 years, and you have superpowers. What do you do?
It's like, so there's that, and he also has access to the cache of weapons and jewels that he brought back from the other world.
Oh, he also gets artifacts?
That helps too.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he has inventory. He has an inventory system. He's like, yeah, watch this. Pulls it out. Use my lead opener. This is a knife, right? Yeah. Why is it so big? Oh, I took it off a demon I defeated. What? It's a demonic artifact. I was using it as a lead opener. Why do you have this still? Oh, I pulled it from my inventory. It's fine. You're like,
wait. So his inventory, is it like a physically huge inventory, or is it like a hammer space? It's a portal. It's hammer space.
So
awesome.
Basically, he sees blocks, but he pulls it out out of thin air. Basically, it's great.
That's awesome. I love it.
And the other thing he did was he spends a lot of time online shopping, but to save some money, he just flies to where the seller is to cut out shipping costs.
Yes.
Man, this is great. So he comes back. He comes back from the isekai, but he keeps some of his abilities.
All of his abilities.
All of his abilities.
All the abilities.
That's gorgeous. That honestly, that's the coolest uncle you could ever ask for.
So, the whole point of the story is he's telling his adventures to his cousin or his nephew.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, let me show you what happened. He basically puts this picture. It's basically his own vision. Like, this is what I basically saw all around there. And so he's showing his nephew this incredible adventure, and he sees his uncle being tormented by these villagers because they think he's an orc. They think he is so ugly that he's nothing but a monster, and so they basically have him on a pyre, ready to be torched to death. And then this elf comes like, "That's a human. That's a very ugly human. That's a human altogether. Why are you guys doing this?"
And we just see constant showings of her being the tsundere and the nephew understanding the trope, but the uncle did not. So the uncle just tried to abandon her multiple times, but she kept following him.
Yes. Yes. She's very much like, I mean, if I have to, I guess I will. And he's like, you don't have to. And he leaves. Just absolutely says nothing else but
okay,
leaves.
you don't have to. Goodbye. Which is a pretty normal response from a normal person. Yeah, okay, you don't like being around? Fine. Later days. Bye, Felicia.
It is fantastic. If you ever get a chance to like fully watch this when it comes out on Netflix, do it. Absolutely, just binge it. It is fantastic. I mean, even read the manga. The manga's art is like a little heavy, I should say. Like there's heavy lines in it.
Sure.
But you'll get through it.
But yeah, Uncle from Another World on Netflix, pretty good.
It does remind me of a certain line, and I know this sounds like a weird tangent, but in Cyberpunk 2020's book, they mentioned that you can get games made by Segatari, and I'm like, woof! 0-2 on that guess, guys!
I mean, it's a whole nother like alternate universe. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah,
like,
it's funny if that's how the Dark Timeline is. That Segatari is a thing. And all I've really seen so far of this show, other than just commentary about it and what you guys have talked about, is the one scene where he wakes up and goes, "What happens with Sega?"
Yes.
Well, how's Sega doing? Is it winning the console roles? He's like,
"What
no.
happened to Sega?"
No, Sony and Nintendo
had failure sound effect. It's so.
Yeah, he's like, "What happened to Sega? Are they winning the console war?" He's like, "No, Sony and Nintendo are winning it."
Yeah,
and he outright tells him Sega no longer makes games anymore. And he's absolutely just destroyed.
Ooh, that's super depressing. It's very, very depressing. Because, yeah, Sega was everywhere.
Oh, yeah!
And now they're practically
Sonic and Tails were his one true loves.
Like, what does Sega make besides Sonic that I actually would want to play right now?
Bayonetta.
No, it's Platinum Games and Nintendo.
Oh, fair enough. That's. I'm just trying to think of all the ones in like the Sega crossover games that I was thinking. Sakura Wars?
Okay, maybe? Well, Sakura Wars is one thing. Don't they also make like the Yakuza games?
Yes, they absolutely do. Yakuza's a great series.
So they still have like claims to fame. It's just that Sega's nowhere near the like gargantuan in the industry that they used to be, and I could see how that would just tear this guy up.
Yeah.
That would be like similar thing happening to you, and when you come back at his age, Nintendo just practically doesn't exist anymore.
That would devastate me, honestly.
I would be very torn up. Yeah,
like the world has to die for that to happen. You know that, right?
At this point,
by this point, yeah.
I just tried to think of what was 17 years ago at this point.
Since you guys brought up Cyberpunk, it's a little bit early because we are recording this podcast as of August of 2022. But next month in September, the Cyberpunk Edge Runners anime is going to drop on
Rigger
Netflix.
is back to save anime once again.
So I can't wait for that.
First time that someone went, "Oh, Cyberpunk 2077 is out. Why don't we make an anime about that?"
I mean, I think it has to do with like a lot of Blade Runner. Blade Runner had their anime come out, and like people seem to like Cyberpunk. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very Japanese aesthetic. I remember seeing that kind of thing in like Go to the Shell, like Standalone Complex. It's an aesthetic that works, and I love it.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk as a genre was practically defined by anime. So the fact that we lack cyberpunk anime in general nowadays is shocking, and we need more of it come back. So who better than Trigger to bring cyberpunk back to the world of anime?
I mean, what are you talking about? Gits is still around. I mean, Netflix has it, but still Gits.
Yeah, but Gits is like a shell of its former self.
Yeah.
That was intentional. Hell yeah. Best joke of the night. All right.
Wait, hold up. What did you just say?
No,
he said
we're moving past
former self.
I'm so smart. I'm so clever. So it's really exciting to see Cyberpunk Edge Runners coming up. Frankly, I think the anime is going to do great marketing for the video game itself.
Yes.
Well, I mean, unless you still have a PS4, and then your console's gonna
Well,
either
if you
catch
still
on
have a PS4
fire or
by this
fly.
point, then you're just a scrub, right? You know, everybody should have a PS5 by this point. They're so easy to find nowadays.
I mean, I think I've already gone over my chances of playing Cyberpunk on my PS4. It sounded like my entire PS4 was gonna fucking take off. It sounded so fucking loud.
Gonna sprout wings and like fly right out of your apartment.
It sounded like it was literally trying to take off with, like, it sounded like it was literally trying to take off with the internal, like, fans inside. It was so loud. It was so loud, and it will kill itself every 15 minutes. Like, that's what happened. It literally, like, it would shut down my PS4. Like, it wouldn't just close out the game.
Watched him play Cyberpunk, and he couldn't get through the start.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, I also bought it on my PC, and that's how I've been playing it now. I mean, it's fixed itself now. So I believe there might have been an update between then and now. But, like, I couldn't, like, I showed Professor Shinobi here for a bit, me playing the, like, opening parts of it. And I couldn't, it would just immediately kill itself. Like, it flatlined. You want to send a ticket to blah, blah, blah? I'm like, sure, why not send it out? Oh, hopefully whatever data it gets, it's fixing it or whatever.
Yeah, I guess that's better than nothing, right? At least it gave you an option to send off that, crash data.
Yeah, and then I'll try to replay it every now and again. I'll probably get 15 more minutes, and then it'll crash again. Yeah. And then I stop for about 2 weeks, and I play it. And now I can do like 6 hours, no sweat.
Well, that's good.
Cool. Okay, yeah. Hopefully, hopefully Cyberpunk Edge Runners is super fun. Maybe we'll make a video about that show when it comes out. Who knows? But that's just about a month off, so I'm sure everybody right now is really hyped for it.
You're missing the most profitable one, headed by Satan.
Yes. So let's talk about one of the biggest sequel series to come back after nearly a decade of waiting and waiting and waiting.
Oh my god.
Devil is a Part-Timer Part 2 is out.
I never thought this show was going to get a sequel.
Me neither. And now I have hope for No Game No Life. I have hope.
At this point, it's up for grabs. That's the only thing left I can think of. Spice of Wolf already got a third season announced. Fruits Basket came back. There's literally nothing else but No Game No Life at this point. Every other show's got a second chance.
But we have learned something. It takes approximately 1 year to get through one level of hell. Because that's the only reason I can think of this season coming back.
So, with Devil's Part-Timer, that show, real quick, I just want to say how special it is to me, because I watched the first season of Devil's Part-Timer as it aired on Crunchyroll back in summer of 2013. And I was 18 years old at the time. That was the summer that I consumed the most.
That makes me so old.
I know that hurts you. But the point I'm trying to make is that I was consuming tons of anime that season. That was like the most influential summer of anime in my life. And Devil's Part-Timer struck a very specific chord with me. Because I was working like 60 hours a week in my mom's restaurant that summer.
Oh.
I was worked to death. In order to have a life, like I would work 9 to 10 or 9 to 9. And then I'd go pick up like drive-through food, Taco Bell or whatever, come home, and I'd stay up till 3 in the morning just watching anime. And Devil's Part-Timer, I loved how it was like a slice of life genre blended with isekai. And it had just enough fantastical elements to keep me hooked on the show's premise and the characters, but at the same time, the show had that, happy-go-lucky feel that a lot of slice of life anime have, where it brightened up my day, it brightened my mood. The characters and the whimsical setting just really made me feel like life could be better.
Yeah, because it's not as bad as theirs.
I mean, it's just a fun show to watch, to really bring up your mood, to lift your spirits. And so that's why Devil's Part-Timer was always so special to me, because I saw it at a very important time in my life. I love the opening song, I love the characters, and I had wished so hard for years that it would get a second season. And around 2016, 2017, I just gave up hope. I figured, well, almost half a decade has passed. Like, who else remembers this show anymore?
Like, we grieved you. We thought you were gone forever. What happened? How are you here?
I just really am happy that it finally came back for a second season after 9 years, almost exactly 9 years of hiatus. We finally have a second season to explore more journeys with these characters and see more of Satan in McDonald's, everybody's favorite fast food joint of all time. I never forgot about McDonald's. It always had a special place in my heart.
That will lead to world domination, one cracked pepper fries at a time.
Yeah.
It does leave a special place in your heart. It's called a clogged artery.
Does anyone want to know the premise of this first season, as far as I can tell from the first couple episodes, or are we just gonna be happy with?
Let's just talk about like the first couple episodes briefly. I've only seen the first episode, but if you've seen the first two, just go into it.
Satan has taken on a lot in the first season. It's like being broke, fighting demons, having a neighbor that's trying to murder him while also feeding him. But now he must take on his most important job yet. Fatherhood.
I can't believe this is happening. I'm only in the first episode, so they haven't really explained how this is possible. But
they still don't really know.
Is that why it took 9 years?
Oh my god. Not really.
It took so long that now he has kids? What?
No, he just
that's a fair point.
He just has one magic baby out of the portal from into Isla. That was born from a giant apple.
giant golden apple that basically caught a sword as it was coming down in its hands. It was like, now I exist. I'm like, cool, fair enough. We'll see this wacky hijinks happen.
Okay, Andrew, are they trolling me?
They're not trolling you. No, this is real. He has a kid. He has a kid now, which I suppose was probably the only way to really mix up things in the show moving forward and introduce a new element, is just have a new character. But
I suppose
it only further stresses the relationship between Satan and Amelia the hero. They're already on very bad terms with one another because they were mortal enemies in the previous world, and they're still kind of enemies in this world. And now they find out that this mysterious magical baby that showed up on their front doorstep is the collective child of both Satan and Amelia the hero.
So you're telling me that Joan of Arc's equivalent and Satan's equivalent are this child's parents?
In some weird cosmic way, yes.
What self-insert bullshit is this?
Wait, what? I don't know if it's self-insert.
Who my dad, who also works at McDonald's, so I get fries whenever I want.
I think the only self-insert part of this whole show is the part about working at a potential McDonald's ripoff. That's the only part that could potentially be realistic or relatable. But yeah, it's really cool to see the show come back. I'm really curious to see where they're going to take this. There's got to be a logical explanation because Satan and Amelia,
the answer is magic.
What?
You're telling this to the person who literally for the first and second episode said no less than 16 times, "You're literally Satan."
Yes, he's literally Satan. So how this is possible, nobody knows yet. Even the main characters don't know. They're trying to make this work. They're very, very confused.
I really have to wonder how Track Taste feels about this show now, considering the first episode is how hard is it to start living in Japan? Just to get the accurate experience of like, is it really this bad? It's worse.
Yeah, the living arrangements
if you get the
for
right
Satan.
job, it'll be fine.
The living arrangement for Satan, I don't know why they choose to live in such a dump.
They have no money, Andrew.
They literally have no money job experience.
At this point, Satan should be like a district manager for McDonald's. I'm surprised that
he's only
not.
assistant manager right now.
He's had 9 years. What do you mean he's like an assistant manager for 9 years?
He hasn't been doing this for 9 years. It's only been like a week for them.
Yeah.
It's not fair. It's not fair. His characters, only a week has passed by and I've waited 9 long years.
This is like the time travelers anime.
A little bit. Yeah. So really happy to see that show come back. Can't wait to see where it goes. We gotta make a bunch of McRonald's memes I can't wait to see the McRonald's memes, the new ones, in the next 3 months. There's gonna be some good memes about this show, I'm sure.
Oh, there's definitely gonna be memes.
Nah, the focus is gonna be on baby Alice because once again, if a show has a baby in it, it's gonna be the popular thing.
That's the other thing, right? You know, I'm already seeing memes involving both this baby and Anya in the same picture.
I like how Andrew, when we first started watching the first episode of the new season, you're like, "What's with Japan and why is there babies and everything?" You know, I was like, I mean, they somehow have to get that birth rate up somehow.
It's like
they
Japan
gotta
has got
increase
a
the
declining
population.
birth rate and nobody wants to have babies because nobody has time to have babies.
I remember there was a show that it was like Hanamaru Kindergarten. That's like, kids are adorable. You should have some. Get laid.
Oh yeah, wasn't it like Yakuza Babysitter or something like that? Yeah.
Yeah, Yakuza Babysitter's another one this season.
That is a new one this season that I also enjoy. It's once again, tough guy must take care of soft baby.
This reminds me of what was that, Hanamatsuri?
Oh god.
Hinamatsuri.
Hinamatsuri. If the child wasn't an asshole, that's basically what that thing
It's like
is.
she's just a precious little. She's 7. And the Yakuza member that is taking care of her, she like her dad's still around, but he's like, okay, you have been doing too much. I am now putting you on babysitting duty. Learn the value of human life so we don't keep having problems.
Oh my god, that's such a great lead.
What's that movie? The Pacifier? Like they got Vin Diesel.
The Pacifier with Vin Diesel.
Yeah, like, hey, we're gonna make you like in charge of this, like protecting this family. I mean, if you learn the value of family and like, you know, other life besides the military, yeah, go for it. That's fine. Well, we'll take that. We'll take that skill set too.
Wow. Okay.
He like at the end of the movie, he becomes a director for a play. Like it's weird how that movie ends.
Well, no,
I mean,
he was directing the play because he had to. His real job afterwards is the new gym coach.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which makes a little bit more sense.
Yes.
But like it's insane. Like that movie is like the same thing like in Yakuza Babysitters.
Yes.
I mean, that just sounds like a side story in Yakuza, where it's like, you need to learn to stop hurting people. Please babysit my child.
Isn't that like against the game? Like the game was made to like, hey, you punch people pretty hard. We'll get that better. We'll make that better for you.
Like, okay, straight up Yakuza 0, when I was playing it, from one moment when I bulled a turkey, we ran out of turkeys, here is a chicken. The chicken is still alive. Yeah, we didn't know how to kill it, so it's your friend now. Make it a manager.
No,
I'm gonna name you Nuggets.
Okay. Enough of the Yakuza tangent. Let's look at probably a show that had a lot of manga hype, but I'm getting mixed results from people. I personally like the show, but I don't know. Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I forgot about that show. I gotta watch that so bad because Ed has not stopped telling me about the manga for the last like 2 years. And in his words, he said that it's an older series. It's an older manga series.
Yeah, he must be sorely disappointed in the art.
Well, he hasn't watched it yet. He hasn't watched the anime yet, but he's heard from other people that the animation quality doesn't really hold up to the manga's level of quality.
I can probably believe that, but I'm an anime only, and the story is so great that I was like, okay, this might be one of the best new shows this season.
The original run of Lucifer Biscuit Hammer ran from April 28th, 2005 to August 30th, 2010.
Decent runtime.
This anime, from the time of ending, took 12 years to get here. So, in the time of the ending to the beginning of this one, we have had the concept for The Devil is a Part-Timer, the hiatus, and they both start at the same time. Time is weird.
Time is weird.
Well,
But
I mean,
still-
especially nowadays, this kind of spawns a relevant discussion topic. But nowadays, we're seeing so many manga and older anime from even pre-2000s get revivals or sequel seasons or spiritual successors currently. Over the last couple of years, we've seen more and more of them. I mean, heck, I never expected to see an Inuyasha sequel pop up, but we have Yasukime now.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, Trigun got a new anime project announced at Anime Expo the other month.
It's
so
like we got a new Trigon coming out. We got Bleach coming back soon. We got
Bleach is coming
working
back
on
in the
Yu Yu
fall.
Hakusho show or movie or something. And
Netflix series?
no, not the Netflix series. They're working on something else. Like there's an anime movie I think coming out.
That would be
What?
awesome. I'd be all over that if they actually made like a new Yu Yu Hakusho project.
Because I heard they were working on something for like the 30th or 20th anniversary. However many years it's been.
It's been a long time.
Turn to Google!
So with Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer, I'm really excited to see where that show goes. I want to watch it. I just haven't got around to it yet. If the animation quality doesn't hold up to exactly what the manga does, that's okay. I'd rather watch the anime in that case and then go to the manga just so I can walk in with a fresh perspective. It's not always animation quality or art that pulls me in. Sometimes it's just a really good plot, and if they've kept that, in my opinion, that's the most important thing.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing people tend to really forget that. And all be all, it's not animation or anything. Yeah, it may like take away from the story. Like you said, story is all that matters. If it's entertaining and a great story, you won't notice anything like the sliding PNG of like a person. Like it doesn't sometimes matter.
There's
one of my
really... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
like I said, one of my favorite animes is Overlord. And
Overload. I'm
boy-
calling it Overload now. Yeah.
But boy, is some of the art not great.
Yeah, sometimes they use that CG and it does not look good.
The Goblin Army specifically was terrible.
3-foot goat, so...
Well, I mean, like specifically like Goblin Army, like the Goblin Army 3D was not great.
Yeah.
It was not even the best. It was not even good sometimes. But like it was entertaining to watch these goblins just outright destroy this human army.
Yeah.
So like it gets to a point where you have to realize I think that's another thing people tend to forget. Like again, people tend to go like, no, it doesn't look great. It's not good, not worth the time. I'm like, no, it's worth the time if you find the story fun.
Okay.
So like you said, when you brought up the fact that Ed has been talking to you nonstop about this for the last how many years?
Couple of
Too
years.
many.
Yeah. So like it warrants just watching it for the story.
Yeah.
There's a good quote by Kurosawa, and I'm going to be the pretentious person to mention it. He's the director of Seven Samurai. With a good script, a good director can produce a masterpiece. With the same script, a mediocre director can produce a passable film. But with a bad script, even a good director can't possibly make a good film.
It's true.
Yeah.
Very true.
So yeah, Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer, quick rundown. Basically, the world is about to be hit by a giant hammer in space, and the only way to stop it is for the reincarnation of some other world's princess to gather her knights under her rule and be able to destroy the hammer herself. So we're mostly following the princess and the first knight we meet, which is the Lizard Knight, where this college kid is just constantly being accosted by this talking lizard telling him, hey, I need you to listen to me. But every time the lizard talks to him, he picks up the lizard and yeets it. But it just comes back.
Is this what the meme of the turtle that goes up to the... And the turtle says you need to go on a grand adventure?
Maybe.
I need to look this up because I desperately remember this, and I think it might be the same show.
But yeah, overall, to me, the show, like the story-wise, looks really good. I'm enjoying it. So, if the animation is really subpar compared to the manga, too bad. I'm not gonna read the manga anytime soon because it's not my thing.
Well, here's the other thing too: is that like the anime really, in this case, what it needs to do most is just pull people into the series. It's just gotta pull people into the franchise. So once the anime is over, then all the new fans can just migrate to the manga, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yes, like every other manga person, that's how they
it's
start off
it's
with.
a promotional anime at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I found it. Yes, it absolutely is. It's a half-awake girl with a turtle that climbs onto her legs and goes, "Good morning. I am Turtle Knight Ron Yu. Right now, the planet is facing a crisis." And her eyes light up and it just says, "Adventure" at the bottom.
So yeah, that's probably going to be one of the other knights that appears later on in the show. Right now, we've only, at least for me, I've only met the lizard and the dog knight.
Okay, you have my attention, Biscuit Hammer.
All right, so we're getting close to the end here, so I'm gonna just bring up like one or two more shows. I want to quickly point out that it's funny how that this season there are 2 shows about people with magic samurai swords fighting evil. We have
That
these.
sounds like anime.
I mean, that seems very normal, right? Like,
No, it's very normal. It's just funny to me because it's like we have Orient, or at least the second core of Orient. That was a show that premiered in winter of this year, where people use their swords to fight Kishin, or giant monsters that you have to break their horns with. And then we have this new show called Shine On Bakumatsu Bad Boys, where members of the Shinsengumi were all murdered, so they were replaced by convicted felons and are given the swords with their souls in it.
What? We're really gonna bring back the Shinsengumi and then give it to, like, high school bullies to be like, "That's the show"?
So yeah.
Okay, I do want to give a quick shout out, and I have not watched this show. Engage Kiss. You are
What
the
is that
first
about?
I watched
Okay,
the
What is that
first
about?
episode
Let
of
me
it.
read the description. In Barren City, a pioneering metropolis built on a newly discovered energy promises every citizen a luxurious and comfortable lifestyle. Reality, young demon exterminator Shu Ogata's life is far from extravagant. Despite running a private military business, he often struggles to make ends meet due to his reckless expenses. Fortunately, Kisara, his demon partner, is more than eager to help Shu, and with household matters. Albeit a little too forcefully for his comfort. The two work side by side, taking countermeasures against demon hazards which stand against the threats to the city. With danger lurking in the shadows, Shu and Kisara are able to strive to grant to their safety. However, exterminating possessed comes at a price, unbeknownst to the others. Okay, so they have to work to each other. They have a pact that says you can have my powers if we make out. And by the way, the head of the police is my ex.
Yeah, so I watched the first episode of this, and it's kind of like the first half of the episode was kind of boring to me. Once they kicked into the action, it was a little interesting, but it became trashy the second the pink-haired demon girl was like, "Okay, if you want me to fight for you, you know what you have to do." And it's like, give you an apartment key, maybe, but also, all right, let's do the pact, and they just Sakuga make out for like a solid 3 minutes, like a solid minute and a half.
Oh,
and
God.
then there's this really cool fight where the ex-girlfriend squad captain and the new demon girl have a choreographed fight where they're kind of aiming at each other but still killing all the demons around them.
Yeah,
I
this
just
sounds
love the Scott Pilgrim vibes from it. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah.
this sounds and looks like trash.
Yes.
Like absolute trash. Like I almost wouldn't touch this. Except for the fact that you mentioned the really cool fight scenes.
Yes.
That's enough to pull me back.
It's an interesting first episode. If you can get past the first episode, you might like the show. But I was just like, nah, this is trash. This was like one of the first shows I watched this season. I was like, man, this season's starting off rough. God.
I just saw this and I'm like, I can't think where the main character has an ex-girlfriend that they're not living together and they're not romantically interested in each other at all.
Nah, she's still interested in him.
It sounds
Is
like
he?
it.
She is. Like,
No, but is he?
Yeah, yeah.
is he? He's an idiot.
It's
never
like,
mind.
look, is he ever? When it's this type of setting, is the main character ever really interested? Because if he was, the show's premise would be done in like an episode. That's not the point here. The point is the Sakuga animated kiss scenes and then the fight scenes.
Yes.
Not the violence, the sex. And not
I
even
didn't
the sex.
say that. I didn't say that.
It's sex or violence. It's one of them, and it's just gonna be like, we're gonna first base.
He's paraphrasing for me. Look, yes, like so. Building off of what Trey said, if this is what the season's starting off with, then it's looking rough, right? Well, I got something rougher than this. I only got through one episode of this show I'm about to mention, so it sounds like Engaged Kiss isn't nearly as bad. I think after what I went through, I could probably survive one episode of Engaged Kiss and move on forward. The show that I am not going to continue watching is, quote unquote, The Maid I Hired Recently is Mysterious. That show is going to get you arrested if you watch for too long. Good Lord. There's Officer I can explain, then there's Officer Just Take Me Away. And that's what this show actually is. I can't even, man. Like, I liked the Maid design. I like the design of the Maid. Like, it's appropriate. It's appropriately sexy, and she's actually an adult, thank God. But that's not the problem here. The problem is that
don't say thank God. She's an adult. That's the worst part.
That's the worst part. That becomes the worst part.
I don't think it would be better if she was a kid.
Look, you don't know. You don't know.
One also needs to be an adult.
Hear me out. You don't know what the show is really like until you start watching it, because the premise is that this master of a mansion hires a new maid, and she's just mysterious. She's just sketchy. Don't really know that much about her. The master who hired her, he doesn't have any background information, but he needed a maid, so he hires her anyways. But over the time that she's there, the master keeps an eye on her and tries to figure out what's really going on. Why is she there? What does she want? It's suspicious. In any situation, anybody in the master's shoes would also be curious. Like, who are you? Why did you show up out of nowhere? I don't know you. The master also lives in a mansion out in the woods, far away from civilization. So it's strange for just a random lady to show up out of nowhere, suspiciously attractive, to just say yeah, I want to be your maid. I'm gonna live here rent free and do all your cooking and cleaning for you. You don't even need to pay me. You just gotta let me live here. And that's the mystery that I kind of want to know more about. I want to know who is she? What's she doing there? What are her real intentions? That's the intrigue that almost makes me want to continue on to the second episode. But I don't, because the master is 12 years old.
Woof.
She's a Shota. She's a Shota.
This is a Shota anime. This is a Shota anime. And it's so obvious. It's so obvious because the main gag about this show that keeps getting repeated every 5 minutes is that this 12-year-old boy will spy on this grown-ass adult and find out what is she trying to do. And when she notices him, she confronts him and says oh, what are you doing? Why are you watching me? Is it because you're interested in me? He. And he's like, yes, that's why I'm spying on you. I want to know what's going on. Why are you here? What are you doing here? And why do you make my heart flutter like crazy?
Oh,
and then she goes, ara, and you're like, okay. I know this now.
He's got pure ara energy. Oh no.
So he clearly has a crush on her, as any 12-year-old boy probably would with a grown woman nearby. Look, we all had the older women crushes when we were kids. That's fine. That's normal. But the problem is that she very clearly is interested in him romantically.
Oh.
Whenever he says, you make my heart flutter, you're really attractive, you have great eyes, and I don't know why, but I'm interested in you, she blushes, gets embarrassed, and has to run away. And it's no. So I think I had to pause the first episode at least 5 times to just scream at my computer and be like, why are you doing this? Why are you like this? What is this? It's a freaking Shota anime. So I will not be continuing this show. I had to finish the first episode just to be certain if there was anything else about this show I was missing. Nope, that's the whole thing. The whole first episode was just this one gag, this one interaction between the two main characters repeated several different times.
Okay, I have a question. Since we've all been 12-year-old boys in the past, Maids, S tier?
Maids?
I mean,
aesthetic.
in what context? Okay. Aesthetically, I mean, I'm not really into Maids, so...
Wow. I'm just calling myself out. Never mind.
I think you are.
They're A tier. They're definitely A tier, and the right maid could be S tier.
I guess, I guess if I were to rank Maids aesthetically, like, are we going from like a cute aesthetic, or like a cool aesthetic, or like a sexy aesthetic? What are we talking here?
Let's just say that
Thrones, that type of Maids.
The maid I hired recently is mysterious. Just cut out everything except for her character.
Oh.
Aesthetically, yes.
S tier.
She's in the show. She's in the shadows though. She'll never like you.
Right. But what Professor Shinobi is arguing.
Yeah, but her character is Shota lover. Like her character is Shota level. That's the thing.
He's arguing the aesthetic though. He's asking what is the aesthetic like, and here's the problem. That's why I started watching the show. I'm not into Maids personally, but even I can admit that her character design is S tier because of all the little things. When you look at a certain character and you see the level of detail, you can tell whether or not it's, frankly, she looks like a doujinshi character.
Okay.
It's the tan skin. Let's mark it off. The tan skin, the short purple hair, the fact her breasts are super exposed, right? But then the one singular birthmark on her inner left boob, it's like, dude, the detail, the level of detail, that's what makes this character S tiers. All the little things and little features that have all added up and cohese together to make a very attractive character from the get-go that will pull people in, like me, to watch a show and then be like, oh, sweet Jesus, I regret everything about this.
So
and then pull
what you're
the
saying
hell
is
out.
that this anime is a honeypot in a Venus flytrap.
Yeah, exactly. It's
like,
the best
this
way.
looks great. No, goodbye, bye.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So, yeah, to anybody listening to this, I would recommend stay away. I'm not going to recommend this show whatsoever. I bit the bullet so you don't have to.
Wow. We take a hot take on we're definitely going to say no on it. Okay.
I'm definitely saying no on this. You can call me out. I don't give a shoot. Just yeah. No, man. I would not recommend this whatsoever. Actually, there was another anime, I think it was this past season. What was that girl's name? Jahi? Like the powerful Jahi cannot be defeated or whatever?
Yeah, Jahin.
Same author.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it makes sense because Jahi and this maid are practically the same character. It's just one is a child and one is an adult. But they have the same colored hair, the same colored skin. Like they're very similar in a lot of ways. So.
Oh my God, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't know exactly which one we're talking about, but this just looks like the flashback when she's like really young, and it's like, oh, I remember when I was your age. Like that looks like her at age 12.
Kinda, yeah. So it's very clear that the author has tastes, and that's fine. Again, like the maid's character design is S tier.
Yes.
It's just everything else is like recycle bin tier.
In the culinary world, she is lava. She's hot, aesthetically pleasing, but by God, I'm not getting close to that.
I did not mean to spend that much time talking about this show. I just wanted to give a one-off comment about it. But man,
that's not a one-off comment. That was a soapbox.
Yeah, it was.
So with that out of the way, unless there are any other recommendations, I know we didn't cover a lot. I know we didn't cover Don Machi season 4 or Made in Abyss season 2, but I can't see Made in Abyss season 2 because it's on High Dive, and High Dive is ridiculous.
Well, we just need to steal Spencer's High Dive account. Just steal it from him. That's like you said. That's the whole reason why he got a High Dive account was just to watch Made in Abyss. I actually need to watch the movie before I watch Made in Abyss season 2 because the movie is canon and takes place between the two.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, watch Danmachi. Danmachi is fine. It's
I
okay.
tried watching
yeah.
Danmachi, but I didn't like the first season. So
Well, Danmachi, if I've got this right, it's a lot more of a lighthearted isekai, right?
it's not even an isekai. That's the funny
No,
part.
Is it just a
it's-
fantasy show?
It's straight fantasy, baby. Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, it's straight fantasy. Hero tries to become the best in the world, realizes he sucks, and then starts training
Getting good.
hard.
Starts getting good.
Yeah.
He starts
And then
getting good and gets all the ladies.
I mean, he's also the grandson of a god, so I guess it makes sense. But still, like, he doesn't know that. He just believes he's working hard.
What I will
Cool.
say is that if we skipped a show that you feel like we need to watch, leave it down in the comments. We're actually interested to see what everyone here is watching.
Yeah,
Exactly.
please let us know. Yep, we want to hear from you, the viewers, the listeners. Like, what shows are you watching right now?
Especially you
And what
faithful
would
who
you
got
recommend?
this far.
So yeah, anyone
Yeah.
who's gotten this far, please leave a message down below that says we are the best. Anyways,
Yes. Well,
I don't
the
expect it.
comments are the best.
yes.
I don't expect that to be the comment left on this podcast, but definitely let us know what your thoughts are about the shows. Like, were our takes really hot, or were we, right on target? Would love to hear what other people have to say
a show
about it.
that you want to watch?
Like, did we go
I
on
know
a
I
tangent
have
that makes no sense at all?
We
Yes.
definitely did. The commenters don't have to tell us that. We did. But I'm definitely gonna go watch Engage Kiss and Biscuit Hammer for this.
First one you bring up?
Yeah, it's the first one I'm gonna bring up. I'm curious to see what the action scenes are like. Clearly,
Oh, yeah!
so
Let's
so
not go to
curious.
the
Looking for the action scenes,
Just like
obviously.
17 years ago, let's go directly to like, yo, man, they go to what base? First? Hell yes!
I like how we were talking about Cyberpunk earlier, and we just completely forgot about Yuri Deco was happening too.
Yeah,
Oh!
I watched Yuri Deco and I wasn't in love with it, which is weird because it's a show by Science Saru. So I was like, I don't know why I'm not loving this.
Yeah.
when is
But-
that new Bleach season coming out? By the way,
That's gonna be fall.
Next season, baby.
That's
So-
next season.
so
So,
it's
Andrew,
fall
you got 3
season.
months
Got
to
it.
watch all of
Yep.
Bleach. Hurry up.
easy.
Between
got
now,
this.
between now and October, go.
Easy when you skip
Look,
Mount Saga.
Good fucking luck.
Look, I'm just gonna cut out the filler seasons. I've already
This
watched.
Beast arc is dope.
I've already watched the first 40 episodes, so I finished the Rescue Rookie arc. I just gotta get to Hueco Mundo, and then the Fight Aizen arc, and I'm practically caught up. I can,
fair.
I can.
Right.
I mean, you still have to do the Fullbringer arc and watch Kira.
No,
watch
I
Ishiro
don't.
cry.
You do actually have to watch the
No.
Fullbringer arc. That's canon.
I can,
Yeah,
I
you
can,
have to
I
watch-
can
you have to watch
wiki
it.
the Fullbringer arc. I know what
We
happens
can
in the
argue
Fullbringer
about
arc.
Bleach later. That's
Yeah, it's
next
just him
season.
crying so much.
It's
God.
a full arc as an excuse to just give Bleach Ichigo his powers back. Okay, that's the whole point of Fullbringer. You're welcome. Done.
But it was also to give him another flavor of powers. Okay, thank you all for listening tonight. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please leave your comments down below. Tell us how we did. Tell us what your favorite anime is this season, and tell us what you think about Andrew's love of Engage Kiss.
Show no. Don't do that. Don't do that. I haven't watched the show yet. I have no opinions on it.
Want to watch it? That's an opinion.
For all things anime, video games, and comic books, please check out our main site, advent7.com. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. And of course, check us out on social media. We have Facebook, a subreddit, Twitter, and Instagram. From Advent7, I'm Trey, and today I was joined by Andrew.
I don't know what to make of this podcast. I don't know at all. Thank you for listening, I guess. Go watch Devil's Part-Timer, please.
Professor Shinobi.
I don't know what the worst anime this season is, but I'm just gonna give it to.
The worst anime of the season was the Maid Shota anime. There you go.
Hey,
I
second
mean,
Sarah.
yes, but I'm still gonna say the worst anime this season is.
I can't believe the video keeps cutting you out. It doesn't want you to say.
You gotta say
Okay.
that again, man.
Vanguard something card fights.
Okay, guys,
Vanguard card fights?
I don't know what the worst anime this season is, but I'm gonna tell you, it's Card Fight Vanguard Will plus Stress.
And of course, Frank.
You know, hey guys, these guys are not bad. Please watch it.
It's like there
Give-
are some good isekais out there.
Look, part-timer.
Parallel
Devil's
World Pharmacy,
Devil's part-timer?
great.
Those part-timers in isekai.
It's a
Technically.
reverse
Yeah.
isekai. Yes.
Reverse isekai.
Yeah, there you go.
I could just watch Isekai Oji-san. It is great. It is absolutely great, fantastic. Read the manga. Read the manga, please.
Never! But anyways, thank you all for tuning in today. We will catch you all next time. Yakuza!
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye.